Welcome in, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great night. For those of you new to my stream and YouTube channel, my name is ThereBack47. I usually stream every Friday, Saturday, and now Sunday on Twitch. Tonight, we're covering the closed test 15.7 Pan American Destroyer in early access, as well as the AA and aircraft carrier changes dev blogs. This dev blog was posted on July 9th of 2026. Okay, so let's get started here, chat. Hello, captains. Update 15.7 brings early access to new Pan American Destroyer tech tree line, further improvements to aircraft carrier AA mechanics, legendary economic bonuses, the arrival of the unique Spanish commander, and a range of additional content and events. The update navigator will also return to gather all the key activities of this version in one place. Now let's take a closer look at them. Okay, this is what I'm really excited about here, chat. Pan American Destroyers in early access. Let's go. You have no idea how stoked I am for this line to come out. Pan American Destroyer line enters early access in update 15.7. The branch consists of the ship. Okay.
So the first one's Almirante Villar, the next one's Serrano, and then the next one is Antioquia, Cervantes, Marsilio Diaz, Cuauhtémoc, Nueva Esparta, and 20 de Julio.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. That's actually a lot better than I ever could have done there, chat. I just wanted to throw that out there. My Spanish is bad, my English is worse, so we're just going to get through this all together, chat. They are AP-only artillery-focused vessels featuring a main battery reload booster from Tier 6 onward, and combat instructions from Tier 8 onward to further enhance gun efficiency. In exchange, they have less powerful torpedoes and low total speed and HP. So they're a little bit more, they have less HP than your typical DDs for its tier. Read more about them here. We already kind of covered that dev block, so we're just going to kind of move on and get through this. But they look like a lot of fun to play. We've been seeing a lot of them running around and testing, and they don't look bad at all. Alongside the line itself in early access, the event will also introduce
Almirante Irizar, Cuauhtémoc, Nueva Esparta, and then we've already said those two, the 20 de Julio, and then commanders Luis Brion, Angel, Ortiz, Monasterio.
Not bad, man. That's pretty good, dude. Seriously, that's a lot better than anything I could ever spit out. But yeah, these commanders are actually looking really good too, and we'll cover that as we get a little bit farther in the dev blog as well. All right, so we're going to continue on. These are some of the permanent camouflages that are featured on the Tier 8 destroyer. Look at that, chat. That actually looks really amazing. I actually kind of like that. I love the colors, you know, it makes my ADHD brain just go, you know, burk. So totally digging it, man. Absolutely looks beautiful. And these are the two commanders that they're talking about here.
Almirante Irizar will be available in random battles and in an admiral pack. Looks like that's the Tier 10 cruiser.
These three low-tier ships of the new line will be obtained for free. That's kind of cool. One through the Armory's free bundle, and one in a bundle unlocked via special combat missions while the event lasts, and the other one more in the first progress line of the 15.7 events pass. So that's kind of cool. They give you a head start on the line. They're basically giving you these three ships for free, and that's a nice introduction to how things go too. And if you look at some of the older dev blocks that we've already covered in previous videos here on my YouTube channel, chat, they're starting some of these low tier destroyers out with a heal, which is kind of cool. Starting, I think, even like Tier 3 and 4 are getting a heal, which is unheard of in a destroyer like of that tier, so that's kind of cool. Balarky, do you want to pick things off here with this aircraft carrier and AA updates? This is pretty interesting.
So yeah, we've got the aircraft carrier and AA updates. We're delivering a new set of improvements for aircraft carrier and AA gameplay. Update 15.7 will bring a set of changes that have been in testing for some time, aimed at making anti-aircraft defense more impactful and easier to use, and reinforcing a carrier's role in team support. So they've got AA defensive priority and concentrated AA fire.
Yep, just before we move on real quick, chat, they're talking about defensive priority and concentrated AA fire. These are two new mechanics that are being entered into the game, and they're going to explain it further on here in the dev blog. All right, sorry, Malaki, go ahead.
Oh, no worries. The old priority sector mechanic is being replaced. There will no longer be a need to track the direction of incoming aircraft and frantically switch broadsides. Just press the O or tilde key to activate AA defense priority. It will be standard damage boost that now covers a full 360 degrees and is available to ships as a baseline AA tool.
Yeah, see, that's really nice too. And for those of you who remember last year, if you were lucky enough to take part in some of the CV mechanic testings and stuff that they did, the public tests that they did last year, I was a part of this too, and I thought this was an excellent concept. I remember during testing, it wasn't like super strong or over powerful, but they've definitely made some balancing changes prior to this thing being released. So I think the AA changes that we're going to get now are going to be a little bit more on par of what we're kind of used to with as far as like the priority sector is concerned. But what this does is it prevents you from fumbling with your priority sector, right? If a carrier is approaching you with his planes beam on, like flying directly at your bow or at a stern, it's kind of like hard to decide which side you want to select your priority sector on, and it's really easy to fumble that. It seems like Murphy's Law kicks in. No matter which side you select, for some reason they're always going to go on the opposite side of what you just selected for your priority sector. So this is they're replacing that with a straight 360-degree boost, and I like that idea. I think that's a great mechanic change, and they're gonna talk about this a little bit further on, but I think that's just gonna make the overall feel of the game a lot more simplified. It's going to be something that you're not going to have to think about. When an airplane gets in range, you hit this O key and just send it. It doesn't matter what side of the ship the planes are attacking you from. So that's a really nice quality of life change. All right, Malarkey, continue on.
Okay, building on top of that is the new concentrated AA fire. Think of it as an improved, stronger version of AA defensive priority that needs some time to build up. We're introducing it to discourage enemy airplanes from consistently attacking the same ship, and it's designed to work with that goal in mind.
Yep, that is perfect. And that was also another mechanic that they tested last year, and I think that's a really nice change too. It's going to work similar to like combat instructions that we're familiar with other ships. I know the Hanover's got one, the Wisconsin has one, the Satsuma has one, right? The more rounds you land on target, your combat instruction ticks up, and it continues to build up until you get to a point where you can activate your combat instruction. This will work in a similar manner. What it's going to do is the more a carrier focuses your ship, the longer your AA is kicking off, the more powerful your AA is going to become over time, right? So that carrier, if you're that lone battleship, say in your super slow New York or Texas or, any one of these, tier 7 Colorado, right? These ships that are notorious for being really slow are very susceptible for being attacked over and over and over again by torpedo planes from a carrier because the thing just can't get out of its own way. So what this is going to do is significantly boost your AA over time the longer a carrier stays inside of your continuous AA. And I think there's going to be, after 90 seconds of the carrier not attacking you, that progress bar will tick back down. Okay, so as long as the carrier's hard focusing you, that carrier's gonna pay for it even more. And this is a mechanic that they tested last year, and I really like the direction that they went with this. I think that's a good move, and that was one of the mechanics that they tested that I thought was just a fantastic idea. And it's really nice to see this coming to the game in a little bit more of a balanced form, and I think this is just gonna benefit ships across the board. Doesn't matter if you're playing a DD, a cruiser, or a battleship, your AA is going to work the same way this way now, and I think that's a good move. Classic, do you want to read this concentrated AA?
Yeah, hang on a second here. Concentrated AA fire will have a progress bar that fills when your AA guns are firing at enemy aircraft in range. Once charged, long press the capital O or just O or the tilde to unleash it and temporarily boost your AA defenses even further.
Right, and here's they included a little bit of a video here, so we're going to play this. We're going to get it up on screen. And this is it in action right here. As you can see, the planes are staying inside of his AA. His progress bar is continuing to tick up. And as it ticks up, his AA will do more damage over time to the planes that are oncoming, which is a really, really nice feature. Then when that builds up, you can hit your O key, and that'll give you your priority sector on each side of the ship and significantly boost your AA, which is actually really nice. All right, Classic, do you want to continue on with that?
Sure. When active, concentrated AA fire deals instantaneous damage enemy aircraft, repeating at certain intervals, and increases continuous AA and shell explosion damage. Note that the actual AA performance boost you might get is dependent on certain factors. Instantaneous damage is based on an enemy squadron's HP, and effective continuous damage is defined by the ship's AA guns.
Yeah, so, and this is across the board, right? It doesn't matter if you're playing a ship with really bad AA, say like the Shimakaze, right? Or a ship with really, really effective AA like the Wooster, right? So it doesn't matter what ship you're playing, this mechanic's gonna work the same across the board, and it's gonna significantly boost your AA over time. And I really like the changes here that they did with that priority sector. I don't think this is bad at all. I think this is very nice quality of life change coming to the game, and it's needed. It is needed, and I think it's a good fix to what we have going on right now. So nobody loves getting focused over and over again by a carrier, and there's just, at the same time, there's really not much you can do about it. So this kind of hopefully will thwart some of that kind of like player behavior and make the game a little bit more enjoyable for those of you who are playing these ships, especially these slower battleships and whatnot. All right, Malarkey, do you want to continue on here with concentrated fire parameters?
Yeah, so as you were saying, the concentrated fire AA parameters. So for continuous AA across the board, outside of our 3 examples here, it's 25%. And then the shell explosion is 200%. And the instantaneous damage per 5 seconds is 3.5% of the enemy squadron's HP.
Yeah,
or 5%
that's just
of the
straight.
enemy squadron HP. But I mean, we've got the 3 examples. Makes sense with the Atlanta and the Flint.
Yeah.
So they'll have a 50% for continuous and a 400% for shell explosion damage.
That's wild. Yeah, that's a
Well,
pretty
they're all what dual purpose guns anyways.
Yes.
When like Atlanta first came out.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. And this is the action time, 40 seconds, conditions of charge, 2.5%. So this gives you the values. I mean, take that for whatever it is. And again, this is across the board. It doesn't matter what ship you're playing. Could be a Shimakaze, could be a Holland, could be a Marceau, could be a Gearing, could be a Montana, could be a Tier 7 Colorado, could be anything. Literally anything. These are just your straight damage value buffs. I think it's a good move. All right, let's see. A few particular notes. The progress bar begins to drain slowly if not charged for some time, but won't drop once it is fully charged. Okay, so let that sit in. That's actually a really nice feature. This allows you to save an activation for strategic moments. See, I like that. That's actually a really good feature here. Concentrated AA fire shares a cooldown with defensive AA priority as they support the same underlying combat system. So they're just upgrading the system that we already have. The concentrated AA fire progress bar can be changed while activation is on. Okay, charged while activation is on cooldown. Okay. Together, these changes give ship a way to boost its AA without relying on specific consumables. AA defense priority will be your regular tool, while to get enhancements from you can wait for the concentrated AA fire to charge up. Okay. So that's pretty self-explanatory right there. And to make sure you can feel the impact of your improved AA fire, we've updated its sound. Okay, they are way beefier than before. Okay, so that's kind of cool. They not only did they make some changes to the way the system works, they also did some really cool audio cues, which I think is going to be pretty cool. All right, Malarkey, do you want to continue on with defensive AA changes, fire changes?
Sure. The defensive AA fire consumable and its related modifications are being reworked as a part of this feature. So defensive AA fire modification 1 will be removed from the game. If you have any on your account, you'll receive 17,000 coal for each owned copy as compensation. The defensive AA fire consumable will be replaced with auxiliary and torpedo weaponry coordinates or coordination. It provides concentrated AA fire progression gain, improved shell damage and secondary guns, and reduces the reload time of airstrikes and torpedo launchers. So ships that previously carried an improved DDAA consumable, such as several U.S. destroyers, will receive an improved version of this new consumable. Some ships with HE airstrikes, such as the Dutch cruisers, will get a version of this consumable with a reduced bonus to airstrike reload times.
Okay, so those are actually really nice features too.
Oh yeah, you're going to see Dutch just get faster to drop planes on people.
Yeah, that's a good move. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Everything's right there. So they're just replacing the mechanics that we have with a new Commandic, and if you have any on your account, you can receive 17,000 coal for each owned copy as compensation. So that's nice. They're giving you a 1-for-1 replacement with coal. That's actually really nice. The defensive AA fire consumable will be replaced with an auxiliary torp weapons mechanic, which is actually really good too. All right, do you want to continue on with the commander skill, signal flag, and update classic?
In this section, we've got, due to changes described above, the overall effectiveness of AA defense in battle will be the same as or higher as above than before, even without defensive AA fire. Within the updated system, all the core AA tools will be built into a ship, and we saw this as an opportunity to replace the mandatory AA consumable with something more valuable. Our goals are to offer more flexibility in builds and gameplay without compromising game balance or ship identity, and for ships with a choice of consumables to create real competition for popular operators like hydroacoustic search. That's why we decided to enhance all the ship's auxiliary weaponry, making it useful across various ship types and situations. As AA fire will become more impactful with these changes, we will apply slight adjustments to the balance. Check them out in a separate development blog post on that link.
And that's, we're not going to go over that right now, but it's all right here. And this, I just want to make sure that people understand that this is available. If you go down through here to most of your tech tree carriers, there has been some pretty significant, I don't know if you'd want to call it buffs or nerfs. I will just simply, for the sake of simplicity, call it changes to existing carriers, preparation times, and so on. And you can find them all here. I'm not going to go through every single one by one. I think that's way too long. And this is just straight data, so it would get pretty repetitious if I was just sit here and read off every single change here. But it is in this this dev blog, this portion of the dev blog, and you can look at these changes for yourself. And at any time that you want to pause this video and look at these changes, you can see them individually, and that's why I'm showcasing them here, so you have a chance to do that. But these changes here are under this separate dev blog, already linked to the one that we're going over right now. So the World of Warships just did a massive dump of dev blog content this week, and there's a lot of information there, and a lot of stuff for you to wrap your brain around if you want to read it, which is actually super cool. All right, targeted tactical consumables. Let's see, we've given AA its due. Now it's only fair that the flight decks get some attention. Okay, so this is where they're going to talk about some changes to aircraft carriers. We want to strengthen aircraft carrier team support role and give them more of an opportunity to lend a hand to allies. This is fantastic. They're finally moving carriers, and we've been seeing this over, previous lines and stuff of like the Yorktown, the X6 and stuff like that. They're getting away from this straight damage farming mindset into a role that can better help support your team. And some of these mechanics that we're going to talk about here, I think, are absolutely fantastic. I love the direction that they're going with this, and this is just a good move for a carrier, not only to be able to support your team through, damage and their weapon systems that are aboard the plane, but also now the ability to directly strengthen and support different mechanics that already exist in the game going towards other ships, meaning like fire damage, put out fires, put out heals, and so on and so on. They got a really cool video. We'll go over this here too. We'll talk about this all shortly, but I really like that they're getting out of this damage farming mindset and bringing carriers to more of like a supporting role. And I think this is going to become really important too in further updates when they address accidental CV spotting. We haven't seen those changes yet. We haven't seen any talking about that yet, other than the roadmap 2026 video. So we know those mechanics are coming. So if they're going to limit the ability for a carrier to support their team through spotting, they're at least giving carriers other avenues in which they could directly support individual ships on the map. And I think this is really cool. All right, and update 15.7 adds 2 new squadron consumables that will work similar to tactical consumables already used by some surface ships. There will be they will be activated directly from a squadron, operating a tactical map to select a target within range while delivering its typical swift. In certain rare situations, it can be shot down. Okay, so basically what they said there is it's going to work like the current patrol fighter consumables work in airplane, right? You hit the button, it brings up the map, kind of like an old school RTS style. Then you can place on the map where you want to drop that fighter. This is going to work the same way with these support mechanics here. Firefighting assistance. This is probably my favorite right here. A water drop that immediately extinguishes all active fires on a target and grants temporary fire immunity. Added to attack aircraft torpedo bombers of Tech Tree, Japanese and German aircraft carriers from tier 6 and up. So right now they're just starting them on the two nations, right? But check this out, guys. This is like, if this isn't the coolest thing you see all day, I don't know what to tell you. Watch this. I'm a pilot too, and this is my dream job. This is what I want to do for a career. I want to fly like fighter airplanes. Look at this. Not cool or what, chat? That's awesome. That is so awesome. Let's watch that again. I think that's a phenomenal mechanic, and I'm super excited about this. And this can just be, you can use it on any class of ship, right? You got a battleship that's burned to the ground, a DD that has a permafire on them, is trying to drop off, a cruiser that got lit on fire that's stacked up behind a rock. You know, the possibilities here are endless, and I think that's a phenomenal mechanic here. Repair assist, a drop that restores ship's HP over time, added to the attack aircraft and torpedo bombers of British Tech Tree aircraft carriers from tier 6 and up. Okay, so there is a change here. The Japanese aircraft carriers and the German carriers are going to get this one kind of firefighting mechanic. It looks like British aircraft carriers are going to get this heal style mechanic, and we'll see this in action right here. We'll post this up on screen. Yep, gets in the map, you select your ship, there comes the airdrop. Look, it just like, they yeet the thing out of the back of an airplane, man. Then it just parachutes down, and if you watch this HP bar, yep, it's starting to increase here slowly over time. So, I mean, that's not a super fast regen, but that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice that they do that. It just slowly, over time, repairs or restores the ship's HP. And I think this is great. Watch this. Oh, I love that. They just literally yeet the thing out of the back of an airplane. That's kind of cool. That's actually really cool. Certain scenarios I can think of is like, you know, the start of a game, your DD's trying to contest the cap, ends up taking a bad trade with the other DD that's in there. Maybe a cruiser that's backing the other DD up. Your DD takes a bad trade. Bam, you can drop them a heal. HP in a destroyer is gold, right? Because you don't have a lot of it to begin with. So this is just certain scenarios like that I think are really good. I think that's a really cool mechanic. The tactical map will show allied ships currently on fire, as well as ships that already have been active targeted tactical consumables applied to them. So that's cool. So when you go into that map, you don't have to guess. You'll see what ships are on fire. You'll see what ships that you have the ability to give this assistant to. Same type targeted tactical consumable cannot stack on one ship. Good to know. We have turned these consumables to be meaningful support tools that complement your existing team play rather than a deciding factor in a match. Okay, so these are small buffs. They're not anything like crazy significant, and they cannot stack. You cannot have two carriers in the game drop a heal buff in the same ship and get the added bonuses of both support consumables. It just doesn't work that way. So I'm glad they clarified that, and I think that's pretty cool. Malarkey or Classic, which one would you like to read off this rarity system update to legendary economic boost bonuses? And I think this is something that we really need to pay attention to, chat, as we read this, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I'm going to do the best way that I can to clarify some of this stuff based on actual facts. And we're going to do the best we can to give you good data when we read this system, because there's a lot of fuss about this one right now.
So, rarity system update and legendary economic bonuses. So, we're continuing to make rarity more consistent across all items in the game. With update 15.7, patches, flags, and decals will receive rarity grades. The general principle is straightforward. Standard, national, and some historical items sit in the common and uncommon rarity. Awarded and collaboration items in rare and epic, with legendary reserved for select highly exclusive content. Patches and flags tied to specific premiums and special ships will inherit these ships' rarity, though some exceptions may apply. Now that everyone is quite familiar with the rarity system, we're cleaning up the UI by shortening the tooltip that explains it. It was a temporary measure to ensure a smooth introduction of the feature, and we're now moving to a more compact version, while the full explanation and criteria will be available on our portal.
Yeah.
So, update Update 15.7 also introduced the legendary grade for expendable economic bonuses, bringing them in line with the rest of the rarity system. So legendary economic bonuses will provide 480% on credits, 2400 on ship XP, 2400 on commander XP, and 7200 on free XP. So Epic Red free XP economic boosters historically stood out among the same grade items, therefore it will be adjusted from 7200 to 4800 to align with the system. With the release of 15.7, all of your Epic free XP economic bonuses will be automatically converted into exchange tokens. Tokens can be used to obtain legendary economic bonuses of any type 1-to-1. During update 15.7, this is the only way to obtain legendary economic bonuses. And if you don't take any action with the release of 15.8, you will get a new legendary free XP bonus for each epic free XP bonus you had.
Yeah, and this is where a lot of confusion lies with this. And I want to make sure that we clear this up here. Your free XP boosters, your red ones that, let's see. Yeah, see, these are in exchange 1-for-1 with your current red boosters. So say you have 6 red boosters, you'll have the ability to exchange them for 6 legendary boosters. It's going to be a direct 1-for-1 replacement. So I think there's a little bit of confusion with that out there. People have their own kind of tinfoil hat theories of how this works, but they said it right there. These legendary economic bonuses of any type at a 1-for-1 rate. So to let that sink in, chat. And if you don't take any action, they'll, according to this thing, it looks like they'll be automatically converted. If you don't take any action with these release of update 15.8, you will get a new legendary free XP bonus for each epic free XP bonus that you have. A direct 1-for-1. Okay, there's no fancy business there. It's a direct 1-for-1 replacement. Let's see, Classic, do you want to read off the Battle of the Spanish Cuba thing?
Battle of Santiago de Cuba collection and unique Spanish commander Pascual Cervera y Tope. Best I can do there, folks.
You did good.
Update 15.7 introduces Pascual Cervera y Tope, the Spanish admiral who commanded the squadron the Battle of Santiago de Cuba in 1898, a defining engagement of the Spanish-American War. He is Spain's first unique commander and the final edition for every nation to have a representation. A full breakdown of his legendary traits can be found in the original announcement in this link. Then you'll be able to earn the unique commander by completing a new 60-element historical collection, Battle of Santiago de Cuba.
Yeah, this is great. So you'll be able to obtain these commanders for free. Well, I don't know for free. You'll be able to, let me rephrase that. You'll be able to obtain these commanders by completing the collection. Kind of like what we've seen in other events before. They're currently running right now for the 250th. Once you complete the collection, you can obtain these commanders. And I'm going to click on this link right here. Again, I'm not going to go through all this because we've already covered it. But any information that you want to know regarding these new Spanish commanders can be found in this dev blog. And I already have a YouTube video out featuring this exact dev blog. So make sure you get over there and check that out if you want to read it for more. But this is all the stuff that's currently ongoing in the patch that we have now. But if you scroll down here, it talks again about some of these newer Spanish commanders that are coming from the game. Let's see if I can find it. But everything's right here if you click on that link. Again, we're not gonna go over it. We're just gonna briefly skim by. If you want to stop and pause the video, you can do so. Yep, everything's right there. And this is pretty much everything that's ongoing right now on the current 250th anniversary event. Let's go on. Go back to where we were before. All the way down there. So there we go. Elements drop from the Battle of blah, blah, blah. Container will change the new rarity. You want to read that, Classic?
So let us start over here. Elements drop from Battle of Santiago de Cuba Premium Container, which also offers a chance at a new rare Tier 9 Spanish battleship brawler, Triunfante. Maybe Triunfante, but premium containers will be available individually for doubloons and real money and through a set of sequential bundles for doubloons with Triunfante featured at the end of the sequence.
Okay, so you will have to pay for this commander if you want to do that. And he's going to be offered, each of these tokens are going to be offered through these crates and these bundles, either for doubloons or real money. They say that clear as day. Or through a substantial bundle. So you can gamble on that too. If you don't want to buy the individual crates, you can roll the dice and try to get them early through the substantial bundles. And again, here's the containers, Battle Santiago container. This is the drop rates. Yep, everything right here. So Battlefield collection element. So you get one per container. 100% you're going to get one per container. Slot 2, some of the rare elements, 16% off credits. Yeah, it looks like you have a chance of winning a cruiser too for 1.5%. That's really rare, but you have a chance of getting it. Element for 100%. You already own you'll instead get 100,000 free XP. Okay, so you have the chance to roll these 2 Spanish ships as well through this thing, which is actually kind of cool. 15.8 standard collection will be available for festive tokens known as community snowflakes. Okay, so let's actually take the time to read this here. With the release of update 15.8, these containers, standard containers, will become available for festive tokens known as the community as a snowflake event. So you don't have to spend the money on these crates if you just want to wait one more patch. You'll have the chance to obtain it for free. Yeah, because this is 15.7. In 15.8, you'll have a chance to roll these crates for free through the Snowflake event. So that's really nice. If you just want to wait one more patch, you don't have to pay for them. They give you that option, which is great. And this is a cool event. They did this last year, and this is super fun. The colorful... Yeah, the CLR ships are coming back. It looks like they're adding the Conqueror to the line, which is cool. Pretty purple. We like that. The NC they offered for free last year. That one was red, but there's a lot of good looking camos here that they're offering here. You will be able to attain the new ship in a new violet permanent camouflage, say that 10 times fast, through the update colorful premium containers. And as you can see, it looks pretty cool. They did this is like the 3rd or 4th year that they've done this. Yep, you can get the CLR rune. Larky, do you want to kind of read this off here?
Sure. So the colorful regatta premium container. Oh yeah, the Conqueror CLR event lineup. You'll be able to obtain the new ship and the new violet flash permanent camouflage through the update colorful regatta premium container. So it looks like how the premium containers are breaking down is slot 1. It's either going to give you 375,000 credits or one of the CLR ships. Slot 2 is colorful tokens at different varieties going from 10, 15, 25, 50, and 100. And then slot 3 is 5 economic or rare economic booster bonuses of all types. 750,000 credits, 25,000 free XP, or 75,000 elite commander XP. And if you already own all the ships obtained for this container, you will instead receive 1,000,000 credits. So kind of sounds like if you get the ships and you're done with them, don't buy more containers because you're not going to get anything really fancy out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Conqueror CLR and the other colorful regatta ships will be available to attain directly for colorful tokens, including the Rune CLR, which will be available at a significant discount on week 1, followed by a reduced price for the rest of the event. Leaderboard. 2 leaderboards will run back-to-back, each lasting 6 days. 1 in the first week of the event, 1 in the second. You'll complete for the highest base XP in a single match across randoms, co-op, ranked, and asymmetric battles, as well as brawls and operations of ships of any tier. Each of the 2 leaderboards are divided into multiple groups of 25 players for the first and 50 for the second. More groups mean more chances to land a top spot. Rewards include colorful regatta premium containers and colorful tokens to give you a boost in the colorful regatta event.
Yeah, they did that last year, and I thought that was a super fun event too, where it's your own leaderboard is going to be different from, say, the player next to you's leaderboard, right? They're going to base it on what yours is for your kind of like play style. Let me rephrase that. It's going to be based on how do they base that? I know it's like yours is going to be different from the next guy.
Based off what it's saying on here, it looks like it's going to be based morely about like your match type. So people that play randoms will be matched up to each other. People that play co-op will be matched up with each other. Ranked, asymmetric battles, so on and so forth, where if you're a co-op main, you're not going to have to compete with the base XP from the guys that are doing random or ranked. Yeah.
It's basically like if you're just an average random player, it typically doesn't throw you in the same pool of people that were like in like Triple C, KSE, C, or any one of those like higher level resin, right? Pico, those, hurricane type plans. A lot of times they're not going to throw you in the same like class of those style players. So you actually actually have a fighting man's chance, so to speak, to kind of work your way up through the leaderboard, and your leaderboard is going to be different from the player next to you's leaderboard, which is really nice. I think that's great. They did this last year, and I thought it was a fun event, and it does kind of get a little competitive, but it's fun, and you get some pretty good rewards from it too. Brawls update 15.7 features 3 brawls, one of which offers an unusual consumable base modifier. Let's see. Brawl 1, 4 versus 4 format. Tier 10 battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. Okay. Recalibrations. This is fun when they do this. Reload time of consumable reduction by 75%. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Charges base consumable action time is doubled for the time base of the consumable. So they're just buffing, massively buffing like your heal and fire cooldown and stuff. It's gonna be a blast. You're gonna be able to shoot at each other for like ever in this thing. Smoke duration increased by 50%. We've seen this with brawls before where they've, done this fun kind of gameplay, right? They did the Torp jousting one where they did the one previous there where they massively buff like reloads of, other ships and stuff like that. Like your Marceau was like tripling the damage output. It was just fun. It's kind of a meme-ish event, and I love it. I love it when they do that. It's nothing serious. It kind of takes the competitive, like the super hyper competitive out of it, and you just go out and you win, great. If you lose, who cares? You just hit that battle button again. It's brawls. The second brawl number 2 is a 5 versus 5 format. Ships tier 9 are allowed, and the third iteration of the brawl would be 2 versus 2. Okay, tier 8 battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. That's kind of cool, and they've done stuff like that before, which is super fun. I really like that they do this. It's just fun, right? There's nothing serious behind it. It's just a good time. You go out and you just go ham in your brawl, and you go on to your next one. Super fun. Content additions and changes. Classic, would you want to read this one off?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
The following new content arrives with update 15.7, which are a new commander, Francois J.P. de Grasse for France, and with individual voiceover, Naval Museum La Royale 400 and Venezuelan Navy flags, Hurricane, Komodo Dragon, and Komodo Dragon achievements, new portraits for standard Pan American commanders, 3 from Venezuela, and an enemy destruction effects container.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that one.
Me too.
Excited for that.
Yeah,
I got to read what's in them.
Yeah, any chance they get to like bring in more destruction effects of the game is just like really cool. And this goes over the stats of what you potentially can get. I'm not gonna read it off because it's just repeating numbers that you can see on screen. But a lot of new stuff, chat, is coming to 15.7. I am insanely excited about these new destroyers coming to the game, and these Pan American destroyers, they look a lot of fun. For those of you who watch my channel, I pretty much specialize in DD gameplay. I do the best I can to showcase and teach DD gameplay, so if that's your thing, please come to my channel, because that's what I do here. And any chance that we can get a new DD line in the game for me is like butter, baby. It's just gold, right? It's the maple syrup on top of the pancakes, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited about this line, and from what I've seen in testing and going head to head of these things, Aztec ships fighting these things, they look like they're pretty strong, and they look like they're a lot of fun to play. So I'm super excited about that. Can't wait to start playing them myself and showing them off. The other thing I'm personally excited about is these changes to AA mechanics. I think this is a good system. I've already tested it. Malarkey's tested it. I was a part of this whole CV rework public test last year, and I like the direction that they're going with it here. And this to me looks like it's going to be a refined, balanced version of what they tested during that public test. And I'm excited about that. I think these are all good moves, and it's going to be really good. Changes to economic bonuses, support CVs, right? New consumables for support CVs. You can put out fires. I gotta show this off one more time. This is just too cool. I'm a pilot in real life, guys. I fly airplanes, and my dream job is to become one of those pilots that dumps waters on forest fires, and I think this is the coolest freaking thing ever, man. I'm super excited about that. So
I was thinking, it's gonna make a fun combo.
What's that?
Stuff like Sabir with someone that can put out fires.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a good time.
Push right in.
Yeah. There's the possibilities here are just endless. You know what I mean? And as a DD player, these can definitely come in handy. Like it's just this is a great mechanic that just helps out every single class in the game. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So it's just one of those changes that looks freaking awesome, and you're taking carriers away from, you know, a damage farming role and, you know, giving them more of a support element, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. I think that's healthy for the game. I think that's fun. I think visually it looks cool. You know what I mean? I think that's just such a great idea. It's such a great idea no matter how you look at it. So a lot of good things are coming into 15.7 chat. Another few weeks, we're going to have this drop, and it's really going to be a good time. So everybody, thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. I know it's going to be a little bit of a longer one. We had a lot of information here to cover. If you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that bell notification. You know, subs are free on YouTube. And follow me on Twitch, chat, where we go over this stuff live on stream. We're actually recording this right now live on Twitch. There'll be links to my Twitch channel will be in the description below. Everybody, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and hope to see you on the next one. All right.